Hey everybody, I'm back. So I've been a professional photographic artist for 11 years, and I'm always getting asked not just what camera I use, but also what computer setup I use. And this right here is the Wacom Cintiq Companion 2, and I have it hooked into a Mac Mini, 1 terabyte. And this is what I use for my computer. It's a very unusual setup. Not very many people do it. So I thought I would give a review of it. So the Wacom Cintiq Companion 2 by itself is supposed to run as its own unique computer. It's Windows platform. I am not a big fan of Windows. So that was kind of an issue for me. Also, I got the lowest grade Wacom Cintiq that I could afford because I was going to have it plugged into the Mac Mini anyway. So the internals of the Cintiq didn't matter as much to me. Looking back, however, being able to disconnect this and take it anywhere and do all of my stuff on the Cintiq by itself would have been nice. However, my needs as a photographer require so much computer space and stuff such that the internals of the Companion 2 by itself will not run or hold anything that I need it to. So without the Mac Mini, the Cintiq is pretty much useless to me. If I had gotten the highest grade internals in the Cintiq, I would be able to take this and use it separately. So I will say that. And, that's partly my own fault. I'm not a geek. I don't understand a lot of the computer lingo terminology and stuff. And like I said, the Companion 2 didn't really interest me so much as far as the internals because I was going to use the Mac Mini as my platform anyway. But if you are looking to get the Cintiq too, and you want to take it anywhere with you on its own and be able to use it on its own, get the most expensive version. It's worth the money. Now, on its own, the Cintiq Companion 2, I love the keyboard that it has. When you hook it into the Mac, you either need an external keyboard, or I actually downloaded this little keyboard right here through the Apple Store. And it's actually served me quite well. It's not as good as like the Android keyboards or even the keyboard that's on the Cintiq 2 by itself. But with this, I don't need an external keyboard, so it's quite practical for me. Now, the other thing that I will say in doing this setup is that you have a lot of cords, like you can see right here. I have cords, and then I have the Cintiq 2 Companion charger sitting off to the side, but a lot of times if I'm doing editing for hours on end, I have this plugged in as well. So having that many cords can be a little cumbersome. And really, in fact, because I work on the ground or in bed or in a chair or on a pillow, I really should have like some sort of arm. They make an arm where you can like screw it in right here, and you can like attach it to the back of the Cintiq, and you can bring it up to you and like turn it all different ways and such. And I really should have gotten one of those. And if you're working from home and you're on a desk, a basic little electronic stand would work just fine. But like I said, I don't do desks. I don't work very well in that environment. It's not very creative for me. So there's the basic ergonomics of it. Now, as far as once you have it plugged into the Mac Mini, it works just about seamlessly. The only little hiccup that I found was that, you see this cord right here? This is how it's hooked into the Mac Mini. And you can see these two black cords right here. This one black cord splits into these two outlets. And there's your HDMI and your USB. I found that there is a particular little trick to getting it to turn on correctly. If I just plug it in, if I just turn this on and then plug this in, it doesn't like to recognize the Mac, and it takes like 5 minutes for it to start up. And a lot of times I'll have to turn the Wacom off and then back on again. Whereas if both are off and I plug this in while it's all off, I turn this Wacom on, and then 3 seconds later hit the power button right here on the Mac, it works perfect. But if you don't do that, it has trouble starting up properly. That's the one little hiccup that I found in this unique setup. Now, other than that, I have to say I pretty much adore this. You get the pixel smoothness editing of the Cintiq. Wacom has done an amazing job with that. And you get the smooth, seamless platforming for Photoshop that the Mac and Apple offers. It's pretty much a marriage made in heaven when you're thinking of editing photographs. I have to say I've loved it. So while yes, there's been a few hiccups, yes, I have a few issues with it, overall it's the best system I've ever had and I've ever worked with. And I would probably get it again, with the exception of the Cintiq Companion 2, like I said. I would get the highest grade model for that. But that's the only thing that I would change to this setup. Other than that, it's pretty much perfect. So there you have it. There's my review. I know it's not a technical review, but it's one coming from a professional photographic artist and someone who is not computer savvy, so regular person. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day. Aloha!